The main laws of male love. How to make any man fall in love with you. 8 tips. In this video, we'll talk about how to make any man fall in love with you. And yes, it's not a fairy tale. Indeed, there are techniques that can help in establishing and strengthening relationships. What do those women know who create strong, happy relationships and are in relationships with their man? In love and happiness. So, the first law of male love is that a man values a woman's uniqueness. Be unique. And it might seem like you need to be someone. No, under no circumstances do you need to be someone else. You just need to be yourself, study yourself, understand yourself, and develop yourself. In areas that interest you, by studying your strengths, you develop your individuality. When you know what you love, what you want from a relationship, what you want from a man, what you accept, and what is unacceptable for you. When you know all this about yourself, when you know your tastes, desires, preferences, and when you build relationships from the state a man sees your essence, he understands how he can and cannot interact with this woman, what is acceptable for her and what is not. She is understandable to him. However, sometimes a woman herself does not understand what she wants, and naturally, such a woman is not understandable to a man. To be understandable and interesting to a man, it's necessary to know what is interesting to yourself. Develop your strengths. Understand what, for example, brings you pleasure. What inspires me? What makes me happy on my own without a man? And then a man will definitely want to reflect the state of the woman. An important point is not to try to be like everyone else. Sometimes women start to imitate each other. For example, a friend who has a happy relationship becomes a role model for another friend, thinking that if she becomes like that friend with the happy relationship, everything will work out for her then. That's a huge misconception. If you try to be like someone else, you start to lose yourself, lose your essence, lose your desires, lose your preferences. You start to play a role, trying to replicate someone else's life script. And this is not about happiness, primarily for you, nor about a happy relationship with a man. Because men are very sensitive to insincerity. They pick up on it instantly. And a woman who tries to play a role appears inauthentic to a man. She appears fake to him, and he can't figure out what's wrong with her. He starts to distrust her. In certain moments, he observes her, closely listens to her. He can't relax with her. Because something is off with her, he doesn't understand what it is. So, when you try to take on someone else's roles, you appear dishonest in the eyes of a man. Allow your inner essence to shine when you know yourself, understand yourself, feel yourself, and at times bring yourself joy. You allow yourself to live a happy life. You open your heart to yourself. You shine more. You radiate positivity, happiness, and love. Because a person who knows how to create their own happiness makes everyone around them happy. They spread this positivity, this sunshine, this happiness, and of course, a man wants to be near it, wants to be in this happiness, wants to be close to this sunshine, wants to be energized, and wants to be in this field. But when a woman takes the wrong path, when she tries to take on someone else's roles, when she doesn't know herself, when she doesn't understand what makes her happy, what ignites her, what opens her heart when she tries to play someone else to take on certain roles, then she doesn't shine from within. Then there is no sunshine. Then she doesn't energize everything around her with her state. And such a woman doesn't captivate a man, meaning she doesn't stay in his heart. A woman with an inner fire will captivate him. To be happy and loved, to build a relationship, to make a man fall in love with you, first you need to fall in love with yourself, understand yourself, and feel yourself. Discover what ignites you and kindle your inner sun. Then a man will surely appear by your side and will reflect your state, amplify it, and enhance it. Next, the second main law of love is emotional connection. And emotional connection is actually more important than appearance. Seek depth. Appearance is important to a man, and a man pays attention to a woman's appearance he is attracted by. Her looks he first notices some external qualities. But a woman cannot build happy and strong relationships on appearance alone, nor Can she keep a man by her side solely based on looks, only on appearance? When you are empathetic, when you show interest in a man's life, when you can support him, in some situation, encourage him, when you can listen to him, when you can be there, such a woman becomes very valuable to a man. When you communicate openly and there is trust in your communication, a man perceives such a woman as his own. That emotional connection begins to form when he starts seeing this woman as a friend. Some intimate things when you can support each other, when you can open up to each other. This connection strengthens, and such a woman becomes very valuable to a man. He begins to cherish and appreciate her because besides feeling good around her, besides the possibility that she is very attractive outwardly, he feels at ease. It's good with her, and he understands that he is a friend, a reliable person by his side, and just like a woman, a man wants to feel support nearby, and he wants to feel confident in the person he chooses for a relationship, chooses for himself. When a woman provides support to a man when he needs it, when a woman knows how to listen and hear her man, it is very important and valuable to him. When a man starts to have such a woman, a man begins to cherish her, to treat her like a treasure. Well, while I move on to the next point, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss more interesting videos on the topic of relationships between men and women. So, what is another important law of love? Men value confidence, know your worth. When a woman understands her value, knows her worth, when she skillfully sets personal boundaries, when she engages in self-development, when she loves herself and expresses her desires, when she is not afraid at some point to stand up for her point of view, when she is not afraid to be herself in a relationship. For a man, such a woman is very valuable because she is a whole person, a complete. Man wants to see a whole person next to him, someone interesting and developing. When a man sees a whole person beside him, he respects such a woman. He begins to value her more. He cherishes her because such a woman knows how to respect herself. Men often reflect a woman's attitude towards herself. If a woman does not respect herself, if she allows herself to be treated inappropriately, if she believes that her opinion, for example, is unimportant and not valuable, if she does not love herself, then others will treat her the same way. A man will mirror this attitude, meaning he will show her, if you treat yourself this way, then I can treat you the same way. So, develop your own value and don't wait for something to come. A man will believe in you, love you, elevate you to the heavens, and then you will feel your own worth, your value. You need to create your own value independently in relation to yourself. When you love yourself, when you start to truly value yourself, when you skillfully can defend your boundaries, when you know how you should and should not be treated, only then will a man respect, value, love, and cherish you. By the way, write in the comments if there was a time in your relationships when you started to love yourself more and treat yourself better. Did the man's attitude towards you change? It will be very interesting to read. The next main law of a man's love is trust. Trust your man and be worthy of trust. Don't create scenes of jealousy. Allow personal space and time in a relationship. Be honest and open in communication, and your relationships will pleasantly surprise you. In reality, we often manifest our fears. Women who are very afraid of infidelity often encounter infidelity. We fear something and attract that fear into our lives. And it's not some kind of magic or miracles. It's very simple. When a woman, for example, is afraid of infidelity, she often voices it. That is, she doesn't trust her man, who, in principle, might not have even considered the idea of having another woman around, but a woman who is constantly jealous of her man and finds reasons for jealousy. Creating scenes of jealousy plants the idea in the man's mind that infidelity is inevitable, and by creating this fear inside, she instills the thought in the man that it will happen sooner or later. The man lives with this thought for a while and then starts to act on it. When you are overly jealous, the man senses your insecurity. When you trust the man and give him the right to choose the right, to choose you every day, and you believe him and believe in him, then the man often doesn't want to create any triangles because beside him is an interesting, self-confident woman, fulfilled, who is not afraid of losing him. The man easily picks up on this. A man is afraid of losing a woman who is not afraid of losing him. Therefore, if you realize that you have certain fears, like being afraid of infidelity, for example, afraid of betrayal, afraid to leave the man alone with himself, think about what this means for you. While you have these fears, perhaps you are currently playing out some negative scenarios in your head and you need to deal with them. And these scenarios often prevent building strong, happy relationships. Next, a man loves with his eyes, but stays with his heart. Appreciate inner beauty when a woman is not only focused on her appearance. That is, once again, appearance is important, necessary. Men love with their eyes. They are inspired by looking at a beautiful, well-groomed woman. That is, you leave room for beauty. Beauty inspires both the man and the woman herself, who takes care of herself and who, even at home, glances at herself in the mirror and sees herself as beautiful. She is happier because beauty naturally lifts the mood. It energizes. When a woman sees that she is beautiful, she is more confident in herself. She is happier. So, appearance is important, but it's not the most important thing. Inner beauty is much more important, so kindness, self-improvement, and developing your inner world are very important, and primarily for you. Yes, perhaps now someone in the comments will write that. Why should I do something to make a man stay? But if you listen carefully to this video, you will understand that by following certain points, they will make you happier, not the man. The man will only reflect your happiness more. So here's the thing. If you develop yourself, improve, if your inner world blooms with vibrant colors, if you learn kindness and your inner beauty grows, you will live a better quality life, a happier, more interesting one, and naturally, a man nearby will appreciate such a woman more. Next, the following important point is calmness. A man values calmness. Be his quiet harbor, his home. A woman is often the whole world for a man, but often a woman doesn't realize this. A man leaves the house and goes out to face challenges. A man has many goals in life, and for him, for example, career, some inner growth, ambitions, achievements, these are very important. So here's the thing. When a man understands that his home is a quiet harbor, and this quiet harbor is created by a woman, and in this place, he can recharge, he can become happier, he finds peace there, he finds the strength to fight the outside world again when he leaves home. Then he wants to return to this home. More often, he wants to spend more time there. But when a man returns from work, once again conquering the world out there, and comes home to a place that feels like a Golgotha, where he has to fight again. For peace, where there are complaints, reproaches, where there are scandals, competitions, and difficulties, there the man realizes that he cannot restore his strength there. He cannot recharge with anything positive in that place. He only receives internal turmoil, and he doesn't feel good there again. And then the man starts looking for a third place where he can calm down and restore his strength. This could be time spent with friends or some relatives. Or there might be another woman who can create that very quiet haven for the man. Naturally, difficulties exist. You can't escape them, and they need to be resolved, and they need to be resolved in that very quiet haven. But when you know how to create that very cozy world where it's comfortable, cozy, and warm, and even, the difficulties that arise are resolved there, where the man understands that he doesn't need to fight there, where he doesn't need to defend himself, where he is absolutely and completely accepted as he is. A place where he can relax. It's not really a house, not an apartment, but it's you. Then a man greatly values such a woman. He loves her, and naturally, he cherishes her because she is now his whole world. And another point is managing emotions. Learn to manage your emotions. If you understand that you would like to create such a relationship where in your world, there dwells happiness, kindness, love, but you don't understand how to achieve this because you're thrown from one extreme to another. One moment you're laughing, Then you're yelling, breaking dishes, then hugging, kissing, creating these emotional roller coasters in the relationship. Then you need to try to find your inner balance. Think about why this happens to you, why you're thrown from one extreme to another. Asking yourself open-ended questions and try to answer them honestly. Why can't you, for example, have a calm conversation on certain topics and learn to negotiate, but instead, for instance, create a tragedy? Why do you need these fluctuations in relationships? These strong fluctuations. Why do you need this drama, theater, spectacle in relationships? When you, honestly, answer certain questions for yourself, then you will understand where to look and what to change within yourself. When you learn to maintain your inner balance that is first created and then maintain it, you will learn to keep that positive attitude, meaning living all the time in a calm state and understanding that difficulties exist. They exist for absolutely everyone. Absolutely every family faces difficulties, obstacles, and some kind of complications. In every family, something happens. So when you learn to create your inner balance, you will understand that it's just a situation that needs to be resolved and can be managed simply by talking, that is, by communicating. Then your relationships can reach that balance, meaning creating that calmness in the relationship where both you and your partner will feel comfortable. Another important aspect is femininity. Men love women for their femininity. And this doesn't necessarily mean, once again, feminine outfits. That is, yes, of course, they are important. They emphasize the feminine appearance, creating that external femininity, but this also includes kindness, understanding, unconditional acceptance, love, and calmness. Develop your femininity. If you want a masculine man by your side, if a woman tries to be masculine, strong in a relationship, if she tries to take control into her own hands, if she becomes strong, then a man who is more feminine will appear by her side. If you want a strong man by your side, be feminine, develop this skill within yourself. And in fact, a feminine woman experiences happier relationships than one who decides to fight the whole world and struggle for everything. And another important point, he wants to feel like a hero next to you. Give him this opportunity. When a man understands that he is that knight in shining armor next to his princess, next to his wonderful, beautiful woman, when can he do something for her? And she notices it, and she is grateful to him, and she acknowledges his achievements and merits. He feels like that hero next to her. And he doesn't necessarily have to pull a star from the sky for you, or conquer Everest, or do something so incredible. Something grandiose. Let him be a hero for you every day. Notice every day what he does for you. Thank him. Acknowledge his achievements. When a man sees that everything he does is not in vain, that it's not for nothing, that everything he does is noticed and appreciated, that his contribution to the relationship is important and valued, and the woman beside him is grateful, not trying to use him, but thanks and appreciates him, then the man begins to feel like that very hero, conqueror, knight. So give him more opportunities to feel in this state, to feel the way he would like to feel. Next to a woman, it is the state that often makes a man very happy. A man loves a woman for the state he experiences next to her. When a woman knows how to give a man the right state, the one he needs, and importantly, then he will love this woman and cherish her. That's all I have for this video. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell icon. Goodbye.